follow and to lead out next with.
And again, as you know, several Republicans are saying that he has gone beyond his Article 2 authorities. You argue that he's acting within them. But during his campaign, President Trump repeatedly framed himself as the anti-war and anti-foreign conflicts president, even saying that former President Biden was the one leading the U.S. into war with Iran. I want to take a listen to this moment from an October 2024 rally.
So now war or the threat of war is raging everywhere, and the two incompetent people running our country, or what, I don't actually think they're even running it, are leading us to the brink of World War III, a war like no other. This is what the policies of weakness and appeasement have brought to the world.
And I know you have branded yourself as an America First politician. Yes or no, has Trump turned against his foreign policy promises that helped get him elected?
No, in fact, I would say that as a result of his policies and peace through strength, he's accomplished 8 peace deals. I do think that this will result in something that will benefit the entire region. And you are seeing that members of his Great Peace Board that he stood up recently are now all backing him in these efforts. President Trump has been able, and probably the only president, to establish great relationships with the United States and other Gulf Kingdom nations, except for Iran. Had Iran actually come to the table in the agreement that Congress agreed to and not having a nuclear enrichment program, things would be different. But the fact is that conversations with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff and the regime did not go as planned. It was not so good. They were arrogant, they were stubborn, and we cannot allow them to have a nuclear weapon. As you are seeing, they are not people that you can negotiate with. They have been operating a terrorist regime that has been responsible for killing thousands upon thousands of Americans, not to mention their own people. And so we will continue to make actions to protect the American people, but I will continue to provide updates as necessary.
But just to quickly follow up, I mean, do you think the White House has clearly sold this to the American people, sold this to your constituents? I mean, just during this conversation, it's been brought up that there were foiled assassination attempts against Trump. It's been brought up that the Iran nuclear program that Trump had previously said was obliterated. You brought up threats to American service members overseas. Like, which is it? What is the actual objective here?
Well, the objective specifically is to eliminate the ballistic missiles program, to eliminate the nuclear enrichment that was taking place and come to an agreement, and then also to, I think, to eliminate the Iranian Navy. And so those would be the 3 immediate objectives of the White House. But, you know, in everything that you stated also, those are all true. And what I'm doing is I am telling my constituents, I'm trying to do as much media as I can to get the message out to my constituents specifically. And I think as of right now, because of how fast this is all moving, you know, the first 100 hours of war are the most important. You know, we're, you know, hour 24 in. And so as things continue to evolve, which, you know, as you just stated earlier, Saudi government may be jumping in. Obviously, these things will change. And so we will be providing updates as necessary. But I think the president's team, I want to assure the American people that based on the information that I'm receiving and what I can share in a not classified setting, this is well thought out. It's not just being done willy-nilly. It is a well thought out plan.
Just quickly, as I try to understand this, if it is about the nuclear program, and again, Trump had said it was obliterated, but that they're reworking to try to get it going again, can you concede there was not an imminent threat from Iran to the United States then, if this is just about the nuclear program?
Well, it's not just about that nuclear program. That it's 2-part, right? Remember, I had stated earlier that they had missiles in their southern belt region that they were working on, about 100 a day, that were aimed at and a direct threat to our service members. In addition to that, you had the failure and refusal of them to negotiate and come to terms on their nuclear enrichment, what they're going to be doing with that. And so I do believe that the administration was making every effort to, again, have a peaceful solution to this. But when you have individuals that are not wanting to negotiate, even going as far as turning down a permanent supply of, again, nuclear fuel, if you will, for energy for their own people in an agreement to not have that enrichment program, I think that what you're seeing is that they never wanted to come to terms on a negotiation. They wanted business as usual. And it is a fact now, as you're seeing with the response, that they are willing to continue to harm Americans. They have killed thousands of Americans over the last 40-something years. That was not going to stop anytime soon. Not to mention, they have been responsible for state-funded terrorism, organizations in the area, the terrorist.coms, to include potentially terrorist.com networks within our own country, have been responsible for, again, many Americans dying. And so we are going to eliminate that threat. We will continue to do whatever we can to, again, open up the doors to that negotiation. And that's what you saw Secretary Rubio state yesterday, that at any point, new leadership in Iran can contact the U.S. government.
All right, Congresswoman Paulina Luna, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're following more break. All right, Elena Treen, thank you so much. And joining us now is Republican Congresswoman Paulina Luna of Florida. She sits on the House Oversight and Foreign Affairs Committees. She's also an Air Force veteran. Representative, thank you so much for being here with us. I want to start with these new threats from one of the most powerful figures in Iran this morning, the country's Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, saying, quote, "Americans have stabbed the Iranian people in the heart, and we will stab them in their heart." When you hear that vow of retaliation, what is your assessment of the risk to Americans right now?
Look, I think in any form of conflict, there's going to be a risk, but I want to be very clear that Iran has been responsible for killing thousands of Americans over the last 40 years. As a result of what the president decided to do, while operating within his Article 2 authorities, you know, I don't know if many people know this, but they already tried to assassinate the president. They've already killed Americans, and they're specifically in the southern belt region of Iran, their missile program was a direct threat to our service members, and as you are seeing, they are now actively engaging, seeking to not just hit the United States, but their neighboring countries, over 9 of them, as a result of this. And so, I mean, they're obviously going to be hitting back, but let's be clear, we were trying to negotiate. They were stubborn. They were completely arrogant. They would not agree to eliminating their nuclear enrichment program, even though we offered to give them a permanent supply of nuclear fuel for energy. And so this is a result of their poor leadership. I think at any point, as Secretary Rubio stated yesterday, the United States is willing to continue those negotiations, but that would be up to them.
And as you know, President